We now return to local news with Joan, who will start with sports.
Enfield Town will start their pre-season campaign this weekend with a home friendly against AFC Rushden and Diamonds on Saturday afternoon. The Towners will face last season's United Counties League champions in their opening warm-up game at the Queen Elizabeth Stadium. Bradley Quinton's side follow this by entertaining championship outfit Brighton and Hove Albion on Tuesday, July the 21st at 7:45 p.m. Enfield's Glamour Friendly takes place on Tuesday, July the 28th, when the side host Premier League Crystal Palace. Well, it doesn't finish that sentence, I'm afraid. When the side... I'm sorry, I read that badly, haven't I? Forgive me because I'm going back over the last few words. Enfield's Glamour Friendly takes place on Tuesday, July the 28th, when the side hosts Premier League Crystal Palace. Brighton struggled last season, finishing 20th in the second tier of English football, but Palace had a fine top-flight campaign, ending it in 10th place. Sorry about that.
A batting collapse proved costly for Southgate on Saturday as they suffered a 2-wicket defeat at home to Twickenham in the Premier Division of the Middlesex County Cricket League. Southgate looked poised to post a substantial total when Ayush Sahuta, 68, and Michael Stevens, 62, helped them reach 174 for 2. But the hosts then fell away badly as they lost their last 8 wickets for the addition of just 61 runs, to leave them all out for 235, with Sean Hicks taking 4 for 39. An excellent innings of 87 from Dan Housego underpinned Twickenham's reply to put them on track for victory. Ashley Sivaraja, 6 for 87, kept Southgate in contention, but it was not enough, and a late flurry of wickets made no difference to the final outcome as the visitors reached 239 for 8. Meanwhile, Enfield claimed a winning draw at action in Division 2, with Ryan Cunningham, 4 for 85, being their most successful bowler, as the hosts posted a total of 246 for 8. Sam Wilson, 66, and Les Edwards, 54, impressed during the visitors' reply, and although they were unable to reach their target as they closed on 227 for 5, their faster scoring rate enabled them to collect the 4 points. And Winchmore Hill produced a stunning run chase to secure a 3-wicket triumph at Barnes in Division 3. Victory seemed a long way off for Hill when the host posted an imposing 315 for 7 batting first, with Tom Smith hitting 161 and James Drake Brockman chipping in with 50. However, Charles Holmes, 137, helped the visitors to chase down their substantial target as they reached 316 for 7 in just 43.4 overs.
And I have a sports item. The senior men's team at Enfield and Haringey Athletic Club remain on track to maintain their place in the Premier Division of the British Athletics League, despite having to settle for a 7th place finish in Saturday's match in Glasgow. A difficult day for the club saw them fail to secure a single victory, but they still did enough to leave them 5th in the table. 2 spots clear of the relegation zone, with just 1 meeting left. Newly crowned British javelin champion Bonnie Buwembo was one of several competitors from Enfield and Haringey to come second, as he finished runner-up in the A-string event. Meanwhile, the club's senior women's team finished in an impressive 4th place in their meeting in the Premier Division of the United Kingdom Women's League in Birmingham on Saturday to climb up into 6th place in the table. Margaret Adeoye continued her excellent recent form by winning the 100 metre 11.60 seconds and 200 metres 23.37 seconds at A-string level before teaming up with Nicola Gilbert, Emily Stevens and Mary Martin to win the 4 times 100 metres relay 46.90 seconds.
Now over to what's on. 2 real-life families will star in Park Theatre's latest world premiere production, The Gathered Leaves. Jane Asher and daughter Katie Scarf will appear on stage together for the first time in the play, which also features Alexander Hansen and his son, Tom. The entire cast is starting to feel like a family, which is lovely, says Katie, in a break from rehearsals at the Finsbury Park venue. The play, written by Andrew Keatley and directed by Anthony Eden, is set in 1997, when the Pennington family came together for the first time in 17 years on the eve of the 75th birthday of Patriarch William, played by Clive Francis. Jane Asher stars as his wife, Olivia, with Katie playing her daughter Alice, and Nick Sampson and Alexander Hansen playing her sons, Samuel and Giles. Jane says, "I've wanted to walk with Katie for many years, so when I heard she had been cast as my daughter in the play, the whole project became even more special." They've kept tight-lipped about who signed up for the production first, but Katie says of her reason for joining the project, "It's a great ensemble piece and so beautifully written. Plus, it was the chance to play a wonderful, strong female character with a great story. She's very direct and opinionated, but she's also very generous and compassionate." Talking about whether working with a real-life parent makes it harder or easier, Katie says, "I think a bit of both. You get a lot of the onstage relationship for free. There's that familiarity from the start, but you also have to work harder to impose a different character on them because you know them so well." The Park Theatre, Clifton Terrace, Finsbury Park, July the 15th to August the 15th. You can have details on 020 7870 6876 parktheatre.co.uk.
And now for what's on at the Chicken Shed. They talk about Tails' Big Day Out, an enjoyable and entertaining outing for all the family. That's on Saturday the 25th of July, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or 2:30 to 5 p.m. And that's £8, and it is free to babies under 1 year old. And then they talk of Tales from the Shed and the amazing summer shows. And that starts with Darnaby's Space Race, a show that is truly out of this world. That starts on the 30th of July, goes right through till the 8th of August, and that's 10 a.m, 11:30 a.m, and 1 p.m. Ages 0 to 6 years, £7 for tickets, and again free to babies under 1 year old. For more information on these shows, call the box office on 0208 292 9222 or visit the website on www.chickenshed.org.uk.
I haven't got a what's on this week, so I'm going over to letters. Heathrow isn't just the wrong choice for southwest London. It's the wrong choice for the whole city. Although Hillingdon and Hounslow are the boroughs which will bear the brunt of Heathrow's noise and air pollution, the effects will be felt locally in long-term economic growth. Airports drive business connections with the rest of the world and are essential for growing trade. The Davies Commission has recommended a third runway at Heathrow, but has it also explicitly said it can't support a fourth runway. The airport is already at 90% capacity. Soon enough, that new runway will be 2, and then we'll reach a dead end. Aviation needs a fresh start in the capital with a bit of Victorian-style forethought. Instead of a confusing mishmash of runways and half-solutions scattered across the map, let's get going on a coordinated and common-sense solution fit for the future. We can put this new hub airport in a better location that isn't so densely populated and has the potential for growth, and the letter is from Victoria Borwick, Conservative London Assembly, London-wide member.
Now, I have a letter which had been written by Councillor Alan Sitkin, Cabinet Member for Economic Regeneration and Business Development. It would be useful to our local businesses, shoppers and residents to clarify 2 items in the Enfield Independent on July the 8th. Retailers group set to be shut down, it said. Firstly, while Enfield Council must make very painful spending decisions due to massive cuts in government funding, we very much support the Enfield Business Retailers Association, known as EBRA, bringing new resources to our borough by bidding for grants directly. Certainly this is how the vast majority of other business support agencies in Enfield and elsewhere have always operated. And we have full confidence that EBRA will succeed much as their counterparts have done. Secondly, in terms of maintaining our excellent relationship with local retailers, we think communications will be enhanced with this new direct approach, based as it is on modern information technology, frequent forums, and a continuation of the civic-minded collaborations that this council encourages more than ever. Enfield is truly open for business. And it is worth remembering that under the current administration, our borough was recently awarded a UK-wide commendation as Entrepreneurial Council of the Year. It's a brave new world that Enfield's high streets are facing, but working together, I have absolute faith we will succeed in the unavoidable transition.
And I have a letter from Alan Muse. He is the Director of Built Environment Professional Groups at the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. And he says, Crossrail has announced its backing for the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors' call for more prospective surveyors to take the profession up. Ian Lindsay, Land and Property Director at Crossrail, has added his voice to Rick's campaign to encourage young people and career changers to take up surveying. Crossrail is among the most ambitious infrastructure plans ever undertaken in the UK and will dramatically change how people travel. The benefits which Crossrail brings to your community will be vast, including more jobs because people will have improved access to key employment centres. Crossrail will be fully open by 2020 and rail travellers will also be benefiting from reduced journey times and new journey opportunities. More than 200 million people are expected to travel on Crossrail every year. But none of these modern societal developments will be possible without the quantity surveyors and accurate cost management behind them. Without surveyors, construction projects can finish well behind schedule, over budget, or worse, not at all. We welcome Crossrail's support in our mission to encourage more people to take up surveying, and the story highlights precisely why we need these valuable skills in this industry.
A combined It's a Knockout style tournament and family fun day attracted more than 5,000 people and raised more than £8,500 for an Enfield-based cancer charity on Saturday. The fundraiser for the Nightingale Cancer Support Centre in Lancaster Road was held in Enfield Town Park and followed the format of the long-running TV game show, with 10 teams battling it out in a series of absurd challenges. The laugh-a-minute shenanigans involved wading through foam-filled pools, overcoming obstacles and trying to stay upright while running up and down 30-foot inflatable slides. The winners were Southgate Rugby Club with Team Bonkers a close second, with just 1 point separating the first two. Other attractions included stalls and sideshows, face painting, fairground rides and children's inflatables. Numerous businesses sponsored the event, with the Rotary Club of Edmonton providing stewards and collecting donations for the Nightingale Centre. The charity's fundraising manager, Lisa Barker, thanked everyone for their support. Events like this bring people together to support an amazing charity and not only help us raise the much-needed funds required, but also raises awareness so that more people know about what we can do for them, she said. It was lovely to see so many people in the park taking part, cheering the teams on and just having a lot of fun.
Traditional folk dances took centre stage at Forty Hall last week as hundreds of school children performed classics from all over the world. Nimble footwork and graceful movements helped conjure up dances from Africa, Italy, Turkey, and New Zealand in the annual Folk Dance Festival. Each of the 13 schools taking part performed a dance which they had practiced beforehand. As the music struck up, they took to the lawn to perform Patter Cake Polka, I Want to Be Near You, and Circassian Circle, and the traditional Tyneside folk song Keel Row. The Maypole also featured in an elaborate dance that had the children twining colourful ribbons. Nick Chrysanthou, sports coach at Fleecefield Primary School in Bretnam Road, Edmonton, led a Year 3 class in performing the haka, a traditional Maori dance from New Zealand. He said, "Facial expressions are very important. Tongues out, eyes wide." So the children had fun doing that. They were a bit nervous to perform in front of other schools at first, but they did brilliantly. They also performed Zorba's dance, which starts off slow and gets really fast and is often performed at weddings in Greece. I showed the children some videos on YouTube while we were learning it to give them an idea, and it tied into a project they're working on about Greek culture. It has been brilliant to give the children an understanding of different cultures through dance. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Education, Children's Services and Protection said, "This spectacular event showed children carrying on the traditions that have entertained people for centuries," said Aoife O'Han. She's the Cabinet Member for Education, Children's Service and Protection. She sounds as though she's doing her job, doesn't she?
A campaign group hoping to save a 300-year-old pub have questioned claims made that a silent majority want the site to be turned into a Waitrose. Having done their own research, the Save the Green Dragon pub campaign have called on Green Lanes Investments, GLI, who took over the pub just before it closed, to come clean on its statistics. The company claimed that after sending leaflets to homes in the Winchmore Hill area, 77% of businesses and 73% of homes in the area wanted a Waitrose on the site. However, Mike McLean, leader of the campaign, which acquired more than 4,000 signatures against the pub being turned into a supermarket, has said that the figures do not add up. He said, "We have been told by hundreds of people they filled out their questionnaire against a supermarket. That means more than 700 households must have filled out the form and filled it out in favour of development, which we find very hard to believe. It does not add up and they need to come clean." Mr. McLean also claimed they are not giving the full side of the story and they are getting away with it every time. We need to hold them to account and tell us the full side of the story. The campaigner stated that the GLI took over the pub before its closure and not afterwards. He added, "They cannot win by feeding their PR spin every time, which is not being scrutinised. That cannot be the way they develop on a 300-year-old institution." The campaign will hear next week from its second application for the Green Dragon to become an asset of community value, after seeing the first attempt rejected by Enfield Council. GLI are yet to comment.
Teachers and parents who are campaigning to open a new international primary school say they have high hopes they will be successful. The Ara Primary School could be opened somewhere in Barnet in September 2016, providing it is approved by the Department for Education. It will not follow the national curriculum and instead use the international baccalaureate model of teaching, which is taught at international schools abroad and some schools in the UK. Ukesha Maran, the driving force behind the school, was invited to a meeting at City Hall last Monday after submitting the application earlier this year. Ms. Maran, who is the Director of Studies at the World IB School, said, "We've worked so hard and have the backing of around 500 parents. We have high hopes it will be approved. There is a shortage of places in the borough, and a new school can only help. There is a demand for school places, and last year Barnet had to plug a black hole of funding for school places. Although the group behind the school has yet to secure a site, teachers and parents are hopeful they will be able to share one with a developer where both the new school and houses could be built. Families considering making the move to London from countries such as China, Japan, India and America have also voiced an interest in sending their children to the school. The campaign is being backed by Jordan and Scylla Brymer, who runs an international education network, Mother Fahima Khan and Sophie Taylor, 19, who studied at an international high school.
A mother is the proudest in the world after her 10-year-old daughter was picked to represent the UK at karate and won 2 silver trophies. Ariane Shaw, a Year 5 pupil at Deansbrook Junior School in Hale Drive, Mill Hill, travelled to Sardinia in Italy last month to compete in an international championship for the TFK GB team. The schoolgirl who practices at Hendon Multicultural Centre achieved her brown belt aged 9 and is now training for her black belt. Her mother, Joanne Shaw of Blunden Road, Edgware, said, "I'm flabbergasted. I never thought she would achieve what she has." The TFK GB team came 3rd overall in last month's JKF Goju Kai Saiwakai International Championships. Ariane's next international competition will be in Hungary in October.
A teenager media student has been presented with an award by a James Bond film star. Heyshat Omabalanali Momadou was named Media Student of the Year at the College of North West London's annual award ceremony last week. The 18-year-old of Stanley Road, New Southgate, was handed her award by Sebastian Foucan, who appeared in the 2006 Casino Royale film starring Daniel Craig. He was also guest speaker, urging students to conquer fears, overcome adversity, and remain positive. Heyshat, who grew up in Nigeria, also received the award for excellence in work experience. She said, "I was absolutely shocked. I did 6 months work experience in the college's marketing department, doing market research and helping to promote the college, and I've really enjoyed it, but I was not expecting to feel so appreciated. It's been a really rewarding experience." She is planning to go to university in September to study marketing, communications and advertising.
We have reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of
Joan,
Rod,
and myself, Lilian, with Colin on the controls, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
goodbye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. The Enfield Talking newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.